Hi, everybody, and greetings to the Dave Emmons Show. Nice to have you, and I'm very happy that a lot of you people are joining us and viewing us. I like the people that's going out there and they're trying to find some enlightenment, and you'll find it here, especially with this show that we had just a there's one show a couple of days ago we put out. This is part two actually of the Dr. Lani show. So we're doing them in two parts, so as not to burn you people out with 2 hour shows. But I appreciate your views. I know Dr. Lani does too. I appreciate the interest and the views. So we like to thank all of you for that. This is Dr. Lani here. He is an aerospace engineer. He's a rocket scientist, in other words, for us simpletons, and a computational scientist, PhD. He's a team manager at a top university in Belgium. He's from Belgium uh, and Brussels, and he has been working 20 years in developing advanced computational models and software for hypersonic reentry flows around space vehicles, magnetic shielding technologies, solar plasma, and space weather phenomena. That sounds like a lot. And he's also got a lot of connections here in the US. He works with a lot of different groups or scientists, and he works with European and US programs. And actually, his passion for space began in Italy. He started in Italy, and he's in Belgium now. But in 1983, he had a life-changing, very close encounter with a UFO, and this followed by more sightings and more monitoring. As we all of us contactees know, that it doesn't stop with just one; it keeps going, and a lot of times it's supposed to stop when you get older, but I'm older. It hasn't stopped yet. So I don't know. They must see more. They must see more interest in this old guy. I don't know, but he's been through a series of transformational experiences, and he's discovered communications and channeling with cosmic beings and the councils of light. And he's into the Stargate meditations. I know we put that out there the other day, and this is fantastic. I know I went through it with him, with Dr. Lani and Sarah the other day, stars, and I went through a session with him, and I just told Dr. Lani I had a dream last night that was just really weird, and so I know it works. So it's kind of eliciting, some of my subconscious, whatever. But he's into healings, activations, and also past life memories, experiences, and he has contacted angelic families and the whole thing. So he's into all of this, and we're going to be talking to him about it. Dr. Lani, anything to add? Anything going on that you can tell us about that's not top secret?
No, unfortunately, I don't deal with anything which is top secret, so I would love to. Um, yeah, so maybe today I can I want to show some videos and some other pieces of evidence. And I will start with talking about some experiences that I had with let's say time anomalies.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Um, so the first time that I remember that I had this kind of experience was a bit in the period in which I was investigating about, let's say, some spiritual phenomena, some reincarnation. Um, I already had this, let's say, life-changing psychic reading from Elizabeth April in Los Angeles. And so what happened was that basically one morning, it was a Monday, I wake up, and that day I had set the alarm at 9:30. And I wake up, but without the alarm ringing. And then I went to the bathroom, I came back, and on my way back, I checked the time and I saw that it was 9:23. So I thought, oh shit, I only have 7 minutes left and then I will have to get up for real. But anyway, I went sleeping. I said, okay, whatever, let me enjoy the last 7 minutes. Then I fell asleep again. And then I wake up and I was like, oh my God, it must be so late. And I checked the time, and the time was 8:03. So basically, time went backward.
Wow.
1 hour and 23 minutes. And then I was like, okay, I tried to rationalize, you know? So I said, what could have happened? And then I said, maybe when I woke up, I was actually dreaming, and it was some sort of lucid dream. And but it was, you know, what kind of dream? You really go to the bathroom, then you come back, then you go back to bed. There was nothing really exciting to be a lucid dream, and it didn't feel like that. Then I said, well, maybe when I was checking the time, instead of 9:23, it was 7:23. It was already light, I have to say. But then I said, you know, it's not that I woke up with like foggy eyes, you know, and I look at the phone. So I went in the bathroom. After 2 minutes, I came back, and I'm pretty sure I didn't see a 7 but a 9. But anyway, so I didn't really have, you know, a definitive answer, and I didn't think about it anymore. Then during the same week, on a Friday, I had again a strange experience. So I wake up, and this time the alarm was set at 9 o'clock, and it rang. So I took the phone, and initially I wanted to snooze, but then I said, okay, I'm awake already. I get up. So I go to the bathroom, but actually before going to the bathroom, I'm still in the bed and I check my emails. So probably I spend maybe 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes just checking emails or checking the news, whatever. Then I go to the bathroom, then I go downstairs. And then I'm entering the kitchen, and I look at the clock of the kitchen, and it was indicating 8:47. And I was like, this is not possible. And then I checked my phone, and my phone was indicating 8:48. And then I was like, how is it possible? I woke up at 9. I spent probably 30, 35, 40 minutes doing something, and now I'm at 8:48.
Right.
And then I said, and then I went checking the alarm to see if the alarm was set at 9 o'clock. And the alarm was set at 9 o'clock, and it was deactivated. So basically what happened is that, you know, I had an anomaly. Then I sort of discarded as, you know, I don't know what it is. Maybe, you know, there must be an explanation. And then 4 days later, I get another one, which is not dismissible, because I have even the proof, you know, I have two different devices indicate, actually 3 different devices involved. There is the clock on my kitchen, there is my phone, and there is the alarm on my phone, which is consistent with all what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So that was quite interesting. And then what happened is, let's go a bit forward in time. So this was 2019, in more or less a year later or something. It was in the period in which I already started doing Stargate meditations. And basically that day I had scheduled to do a remote session to the father of my ex-girlfriend. And he was sick, he had some sort of Parkinson's. So I said, I would like to try if I can help him, you know, with this meditation. So I was sitting in a park alone, because I just told them, you know, I will start at this time, and then you put the music starting at that time, and then later on you tell me how it went. And basically the music that I was using was a video of 35 minutes. It's my favorite video. I always use that for one-to-one sessions. And the strange thing is that I played the video from the beginning, and I'm sure 100% that I played the video from the beginning. I do the meditation, and then when the music finishes, I check the time, and only 14 minutes had passed on my clock, but the full video had played. So 35 minutes, the video, 14 minutes had passed from start to finish.
I've heard of that, Dr. Lani. I've had some of those. I call them time slips, not lost time or missing time, but time slips where things speed up. I was sped up one time 45 minutes, and another time I was sped up about 10 minutes. It only took me 10 minutes to reach a destination that usually takes 20 minutes. And I had somebody with me in the car. So I know what you're talking about. I call them time slips. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah, time glitches or time anomalies, time bending.
Right.
Yeah, definitely there is. But the thing is that there is no consistent pattern for me. Sometimes it's a contraction of time. Sometimes it's an expansion of time.
Yes.
And and then so this happened. I think around the 19th of 20th of June 2020. And then on the 21st June 2020, I had actually a group meditation with seven women, of which half of them I knew personally already, and there were a few that I never met before. In particular, one of the women, the one who was leading, let's say, the group that day, is actually the Belgian friend with whom I had the initiation to Shaktipat that I mentioned maybe in the first or second show, during which we both saw the spirit of this Sananda. You remember that?
Right.
The guy of the photo, basically, that I showed. And anyway, so we did this meditation, and at the beginning, so she enters in some sort of trance state, and basically you suddenly hear other voices talking through her, and they were changing all the time. So sometimes I have the recording, and basically sometimes she was talking in a certain language, then she was saying something like oh, and then she was giving voice to somebody else, and then somebody else. So, and in the middle she was talking also some English. And what they were doing, so we were basically connecting to different cosmic beings, and they were basically guiding us through some visualization of the Merkaba. You know the Merkaba?
Mm-hmm.
It's like two tetrahedron that spin, one clockwise and the other one anti-clockwise, and basically they are meant to activate your light body. Some cosmic beings, for instance, use that for traveling, or even in ancient times, they were using this to do, to do teleportation or stuff like that. So, like, it's something very esoteric that is known since ancient times in India, even in ancient Hebrew
Yeah.
text.
Being a scientist, Dr. Lani, I'm going back to this thing with time. How could time affect like you as an individual, experiencer, contactee, and also affect me, but doesn't affect anything else around us or other people? How does that happen?
It's a good question. I guess it's like each of us is some sort of space-time bubble
Yeah.
somehow, and
Like a
and
matrix.
sometimes when we have no interaction with other people, um, time can behave in a strange way, and the other people will not be affected. Like, for instance, to me it happened always when I was alone, never when I was with somebody. And also, another case that I had, that I already explained, when I saw this UFO in Folkestone in UK, and I also show some picture and videos of this UFO. During the sighting, what my phone recorded as 1 minute, in reality it was a 10-15 minute drive. And so, but that experience, I was the only one having that experience. I don't know if other people saw the object, maybe not. I will never know, because I didn't interrogate people in front of me or behind me driving.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, time, it's like, yeah, they are able to, some cosmic beings, they are able to manipulate this, and but also us, with our consciousness, we can somehow interact with the space-time, let's say, fabric, matrix, if you want.
Yeah,
And
matrix.
yeah, and in some way our consciousness is able to interact and deform this time space. And I think it's also related to your frequency. If your frequency is high enough, you are basically able to live not really in a 3D reality as all the others, but something a bit higher than that. Some say between 3D and 5D. So actually what I believe is that these are sort of little jumps into let's say higher dimensions. So when you are at a higher dimension, your perception of time is different. I mean, actually, from higher dimension, you see everything happening at the same time. For instance, time can be non-linear, like it can slow down, freeze, accelerate. It doesn't necessarily go linear, you know, like a continuum. We know discontinuities, or you know. So yeah, and
I'd like to ask you a question, Dr. Lani, about this frequency and the speeding up of your frequency. I know I had a very lucid dream where my body was really hot and I felt like I was vibrating, and something coached me to walk through my door. So I walked through my door. And they say if you raise your frequencies high enough, you can actually walk through walls. Now, what do you feel when you get into this meditation and your frequencies are higher? Do you get warm? Does your body get hot?
well, I get all kind of let's say feelings, but typically I just feel vibration or some sort of energy flowing, and it can be localized in some place, like I don't know, on the head, on the, I mean, on the crown chakra, on the third eye, on the heart, for instance. But it can also be really overall vibration. I mean, I had all kind of experiences. Some were really intense, some were less intense. But every time I connect to the Stargate, basically I feel at the very beginning, I feel a little electrical impulse, like electrical shock. And then I know that I'm connected. So it's something physical, actually. You are talking about something metaphysical, but there is this physical fact that I'm crossed by some sort of electricity. And for what I understand, it's like a higher dimensional, high frequency current that, if I weren't at a high vibration, would not be able to cross my body, or would make a damage in my body, or would not be felt at all. So it's like I'm anchoring this energy and through my body. It's like a lightning. Imagine when you are crossed by a lightning, that would burn you. But if you behave, for instance, like a superconductor, basically the electricity would pass through you without creating any damage to your body, because you know, in a superconductor there is no resistance. The current just flows, and that's it. So basically that's the thing. You with this kind of practices, like the one that I do, in this kind of situations, when you are connected to a Stargate, you try to turn yourself into a superconductor for these higher energies and frequencies and currents.
Right. Yeah. Now this is where you get into quantum anomalies, right? This is part of that whole quantum anomalies. And
Yeah.
the quantum theory is that there's atoms, but there's actually these quantum particles are actually the smallest thing that we've taken years to build to find them, right? They're just very small. They're parts of an atom.
Yes, but there the point is that I mean, whenever you try to find new particles or smashing an existing particle, you have to create an enormous amount of energy. So, and the question is, are they really interested just in splitting the particle to find the smaller one, the smallest one, or they know that generating energy, it's a way, for instance, to open doors to other dimensions, because basically different dimensions correspond to different, let's say, frequencies, different levels of energy. It's like dimension, you know, there is this concept of quantized energy levels. So energy can only jump at certain levels inside the atoms and molecules and stuff. So let's say these particles can only exist in certain range of energies, okay? But the same works with dimensions. Basically works the same, because dimensions are also quantized by frequency. So if you are able to tap into a certain frequency corresponding also to certain energy, then you're able to experience the dimension. Now, from the physical point of view, in order to do that, you have to generate a lot of energy, and maybe, you know, using this hadron collider is a way of generating energy, or also, for instance, nuclear blasts are able to do this, to have this kind of effect. That's why some ETs got interested into us,
Yes.
because they, you know, they felt this blast also in their own dimension or whatever. Yeah, so basically this kind of but then, so on the physical level, this is the way to achieve, you know, generating a lot of energy in some kind of facility. But then as a consciousness, we can bypass this, because we are already multidimensional beings. We already actually coexist in different dimensions. We just have to find the practices and to basically be able to experience this, what we actually are. So we are actually rediscovering our potential through these practices, and
Right.
and we can connect to these dimensions.
In Stargate meditation, which you guys are good at doing, you and Stars, her name's Sarah, I don't know her last name, but she works with you, and it was an amazing you know, meeting I had with you guys. But you talk about guides. Okay, now I had one person who talked about guides, and they were Native American guides, and they were shamans, and they pull, I guess, people in that are past lives, their loving relatives or people that guide them and talk to them, and then you have these cosmic beings that are your guides. So are there different types of guides?
Well, we don't necessarily connect to our guides. Here we have to distinguish, because for what I understand, you know, I may be wrong, but let's say for my experience, so spirits are basically non-incarnated beings, while cosmic beings, for instance, are incarnated. So they are like us. They may even have a biological body, but their body, basically the matter of their body, the particles that make their body vibrate as a much higher frequency, and so it's like we couldn't see them. So, and actually I found a nice analogy on some Gaia show. They were saying, when you think about higher dimension, suppose that you have a being at a higher dimension, which is here, but I cannot see it. And think about a wheel when it's spinning. When the wheel is spinning super fast, you cannot see the rays of the wheel, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so it's the same. So if you have a reality in which the frequency is so high, basically to you, it's almost like transparent. You cannot see what is in there. In order to be able to see, you would have to go at the same speed or a comparable speed as the wheel, you know, and then you would be able to see the rays and all the details. So that's what you do when you increase your energy and frequency. You basically get into that in frame of reference, you know. You start increasing your vibration. You can see what is around you, or at least perceive it in some way. It can be just feeling energies, because every time you connect with these beings, you connect energetically, let's say, or you can see them, you know, in your mind's eye. Some people can see them also with open eyes. I mean, everybody is a bit different, but you can.
That's that third eye. It's that third eye. Yes. They, you know, they say if you have that ability, you can see sometimes these things. And I think I've seen them, but I'm gifted by ETs by doing that at times, but it doesn't happen all the time. Now you guys can actually bring it on at will and train yourselves to go there. But myself, I have to wait on a trigger factor, like maybe an ET visit or something to trigger that. And the invisibility, the infrared cameras can pick up on some of that invisibility.
Yes, definitely some. If you can tap with your instruments in frequencies which are like, you know, in the infrared regime, you can actually, yeah, see them in some form. But I just wanted to finish on the spirit guides.
Okay.
So speaking about the spirit guides are a sort of team that follows you in your journey, and not necessarily only on Earth. Even if you have incarnation in other planets or star systems or whatever, you may have had spirit guides. And typically, the spirit guides are they can be of different form. You can have what we call angels, guardian angels, for
Right.
instance. You can have animals. You can have deceased relatives, for instance. So earthbound spirits, but also extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings of whatever form. And so, it's a lot of possibilities. And typically, the older your soul is, in the sense of the more evolved, because you had more incarnations, more experiences through different dimensions or universes or whatever, the more your team, your supporting team, tends to be large and more towards the cosmic, for instance. If you are a relatively young soul that went straight from creation or whatever you want to call it to the earth, and then you just go stuck in a cycle of reincarnation just on earth, typically your spirit guides will mostly be earthbound spirits, like maybe your ancestors or animals, or but if you are cosmic in the sense that you've been everywhere in Andromeda, in other universe, other dimensions, then your cosmic teams tend to be the more cosmic. Your spirit guides tend to be more cosmic, which is my case. I don't know all my spirit guides. I saw some of them, and sometimes you get new ones, and they're all cosmic. Actually, there is not a single earthbound spirit around me.
Yeah, I'm writing a book on that, on all these angels and things of that nature, and ghosts and spirits, and what's the difference between them. A lot of it's kind of like it's hypothetical. I mean, there's still, it's like folklore. You don't really know from past history what it's all about. But when you go to these cosmic, these are like aliens or ETs. You mentioned Pleiadians and a couple other aliens that
A
you
lot of races.
now
Yeah.
those are the ones that you meet, and you explain on what some of them look like the blue, they're the blue ones, and that type of thing. They talk to you telepathically, right?
Yes, I could say telepathically.
Yeah.
They project either messages or images or their own image. But I also think that the same being can project a different version of himself according to the observer.
Right.
So
Shapeshifter. Yeah.
yeah, not necessarily shapeshifter, but yeah, I mean, they adapt a bit to the concept that you have. If just to make an example, if I am somebody who has a predefined idea of how a Pleiadian should look like, it's very possible that when I see a Pleiadian, he will show himself in that form, because then I can recognize him. Or suppose some of these beings are really not beautiful to see. They're really like, they could look like monsters to a normal individual. I mean, some look like, I don't know, the monster in Predator, for instance, or so a normal person could be scared to look at.
Oh, yeah, it is scary. I saw two that were really scary, but I also saw two that were really, lovely humanoid type creatures. So yeah, they can be scary, and you do have fear. Uh, you want to do this, and it's just like you, Dr. Lani. You want to get in there and you want to find out what's really going on and how you can control. Now, I think so far from what I'm seeing of you and your group, you guys can actually control your trip, and you can go actually, can you really go where you want to go, or you just have to open yourself up and you just go?
No, I typically just, I'm open to receive whatever comes. I never really start with a predefined idea. Oh, today I want to go to visit this and that, like a
Right.
planet or something. No, absolutely. I never, I mean, most of the time, 90% of the time I don't do that. But unless I'm doing a one-to-one session, then if I do a one-to-one session and I want to look into the Akashic record of the person, then I also, in that case, I ask the spirit guides of the other person, give me the information that I need to know. And so that's my line. And sometimes if the person has some specific request, for instance, said, I would like to know the reason why, if there is a reason in my past lives or whatever, why I don't have a good relation with my mother. I make an example that actually I know because I tackled this recently. And so in that case, sometimes, if it's time, I get specific information of that source of the trauma. Like, yeah, it happened recently with a friend of Sarah, actually, and she never had a good relation with her mother, and they were really separated. And then after the session, after I actually told her, not her mother, just her, how, what was the source of this? I don't remember now what was the source, but it was in past lives. Suddenly the mother came back to her, and now they have a relation. And she was like surprised, like, I just work on you, like I just tell you memories. Your mother knows nothing, and she energetically gets attracted back to you, and now you have a relation. So it's interesting, no?
Yeah, synchronicities also, I guess, are involved in what you're doing. I know when I think of a song, or if I think of a person, I get contacted just almost right afterwards, or I hear that song, or that person calls me. I said, "Wow, I was just thinking about you." Is there a science behind that also?
I wouldn't say there is a science, but I think synchronicities are the way the universe talks to you. It's like they give you little hints to let's say get you motivated on your path. Sometimes to inspire you, sometimes to give you a confirmation, sometimes to actually uh, suggest you to change a little bit path, not to get into troubles. And this is very common, that people start having all kind of different accidents, little accidents.
Mhm.
Maybe when they meet a person and this person is not meant to be a good match for them, and suddenly things go wrong in all direction. They get sick, they get little accidents, like, I don't know, with the car or other things. They lose their wallet, or I don't know. And sometimes it's really like they, on the other side, let's say, they try to guide you, but if you don't listen, if you nothing happens by chance. Every time that you have a little obstacle is not by chance. There is always a lesson to learn. And so the challenge is to try to have an eagle eye, never look just at the situation as you are living it in that moment, but try to put it in a context. Like, you have an accident and you say, but I had a similar accident or something happening also 2 days ago, and then you try to go back, and then you say, but actually I realized that I started having strange occurrences after I met this person. So maybe that's that's an intuition that maybe you have to try to stay away from that person, or So it's not easy. It's some sort of talent. You learn by experience.
Right. I've done a lot of traveling out west, and this is where the Native American Indians reservations are at, and I've talked to a lot of them. I've actually seen some animals. I saw an eagle, a golden eagle. He was in the middle of the road, and he was right in my pathway, and he knew I wasn't going to hit him because I looked at him. He was beautiful, but he looked up at me, and I felt this, I don't know, strange feeling like he knew who I was. It was like you're saying, animals can be like a
Absolutely.
spirit guide. And this thing was daring me to run over him, and he knew I wouldn't because he was in my, I had to go around him, and he just sat there and he looked at me as I went by. And I thought, I felt something in my heart and my mind. I said, wow, this is something else. And just when you said animals a while ago, yes,
Mhm.
I've had that.
Thought about that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But also these spirits, they can uh, enter. They can use animals to give you messages.
Yeah.
And to me, it happens a lot. It happens especially with birds, but also It has happened a few times with dogs, and like really, you see that there is a connection with what you well, I don't know, something that you see in your meditation, and then something happen and there is an animal involved immediately after. I just make you an example because that was a funny one.
Oh,
So
that cat video. Yeah.
hmm?
You like that cat video that the
Oh yeah, I'm gonna play that.
yeah,
I just want to tell you another thing about this sort of synchronicity, kind of, in
right.
which an animal was involved. So I was, so I have a friend in Panama. He used to be in high school with me. Now he lives in Panama. He's an Italian guy, and basically, I during a meditation, I got his face, and it was like, yeah, and then I was like, okay, you have to contact him. It was like 26 years that I hadn't heard anything from this guy. And so I had to Google his name. And then the only way I could figure out is through a app, which is called Couch Surfing,
Mhm.
that I only use since few months. And I found his account there, and I saw he was living in Panama. I said, okay, well, I will shoot him a message. And, and then, yeah, we got in touch. And it turned out that the guy was into meditation, into a lot of interesting stuff. So I gave him a session, and during the session, I saw a connection between him and Anubi. You know, the god, the Egyptian god of
Right.
death and
Anubis.
the
Yeah.
underworld.
Yeah. Anubis, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was a priest of Anubi, but there was a connection to Anubi. And anyway, the thing is, I finished the meditation, and at a certain moment, there is this dog that comes straight at me, running. Then he stops in front of me and he looks straight into my eyes. It was exactly the same kind of dog with whom Anubi is represented, like black dog with the ears standing and with a sort of long face. And it was like, that's incredible. And then what he did, he went to the and this, I mean, instead of going to the owner who was calling him, he came to me, he stopped in front of me, and then he went to him. And he did it a second time too. So there I was like, wow, I was just telling him about Anubi, and this dog comes and looks straight into my eyes.
Yeah, it's
So
a Doberman pincher. I think you're talking about Doberman.
yeah, kind of Doberman. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, okay, about the cat. So actually,
Yeah.
I was about to tell about the cat, but that's why I started talking a while ago about this group meditation, because it
But
happened.
don't let
Something
me,
happened.
yeah, don't let me interfere with your train of thought, because I love your train of thought. Just go on and talk what you finish out what you want to talk about.
Yeah, no problem. So basically, I told you I had this group meditation with 7 women, and then one of them started channeling these beings. And so we did one meditation. During this meditation, I was constantly shaking. I was shaking really bad,
Mhm.
and as I was really traversed by some sort of lightning. And at the end of the meditation, I was so tired that I could barely move my arms, and I couldn't stand up. So after a while, I sort of, stand up, take a walk, and we decide to do a second meditation. During the second meditation, as soon as my friend goes into trance, they say we have a message for the human called Andrea. And basically, what happened is that she was alternating again English messages and these strange voices, strange languages, and they told that I was some sort of messengers for them. And they also asked all the girls, one by one, to basically, how do you say, to give me unlimited support. Each of them had to say, we will give you unlimited support. We will give you unlimited support for your mission. I was like, whoa! It was almost like being in a movie of,
Yeah.
of a mystical movie. So anyway, I did this meditation. I have the recording, but let's say maybe we don't play it today. I went back home, and in front of my door there was a neighbor with whom I never had contact, but I saw her face, and she told me, well, they told me that my cat has entered your house. And I said, well, I look, and there was actually a window which was a bit open on the street. But honestly, even for a cat, it was quite an acrobacy to be able to enter from that door, from that window. But I said, okay, look, enter, let's have a look. So we enter, we go in the basement, we check every single room, ground floor, first floor, second floor, and there was no cat. And yeah, so she goes back home, and once I'm alone, I said, okay, I give it another shot. And this time, every time that I was entering in a room, I was also locking the door so that there was no chance for the cat to go out, right? And I found no cat. I have to say that already the first time, already when I entered the house, most of the doors were already locked, so there was no possibility for a physical cat to actually enter in these rooms. And on top of that, I have very little furniture at home, so it's really easy to find if there is some cat. This was not a little kitten; it was really like a full-grown orange cat. And in the basement, I only have a big empty box. For the rest, there was nothing, so it was impossible to hide even there. No cat. This was on a Sunday. So on a Tuesday, I'm coming back home and I meet again the neighbor, and I told her, okay, did you find your cat? And she said, no. Somebody that lives in front of your house told me that she saw the cat entering in your house, so it's still in your house. I said, look, I already looked everywhere. There is no cat. So I go back home alone. I do the same. I lock the doors. No, nothing. I don't find the cat. But then the day after, so it's already like 3 days, no sign of life. Finally, in the morning, I find a trash bag in the kitchen, completely ripped off. So I understood that I was a cat. And on the second floor, I find some poo on a carpet. There is something interesting, because the door between the ground floor and the second floor, in order to be able to go from the second to the ground, the cat had to cross the door, but the door was closed. So how did he manage during the night to cross this door? It's a mystery, but okay. Okay, so I decided to put the laptop to record. So I put some food close to in my living room, close to my drums, whatever, and I place my laptop to record for the whole night. So at the end, in the morning, I find this recording like 9 hours, 18 minutes, 18 seconds, which is nice, 999. And I look at the video. I watched the video for a bit, and then I saw that there was a cat. The cat comes, eats some crackers that I had left, then goes on the sofa. I called the owner of the cat. She comes, she takes the cat. I have to say, then at that point, when I saw the cat in the video, I said, okay, I locked the door. The door was already closed here in the living room. I said, it can only be in the living room, and it's not here, in the kitchen, and it's not here, or in the basement. So I go for the third or fourth time in the basement, and this time the cat is there. Is peacefully there, is not seeking any eye contact, is almost like in a catatonic state, It's like this, completely still, doesn't move his eyes. I call the owner. She comes, she picked the cat, she put it in a cage, and that's the end of the story. But then I look at the video, and then here I can share the screen, right? So actually, recently I shared this video on my LinkedIn and also in a quantum physics group, because I think there is quite some material. In quantum physics, they speak about the Schrödinger cat, which is some sort of paradox in which if you have a cat in a box, I think you cannot know if the cat is alive or dead.
Right.
Basically.
Now, has your neighbor found anything strange about her own cat?
No, and I didn't have much conversation with this. Also because she couldn't speak English very well. She's a French speaking, so we didn't really have much conversation. Okay. So the original video, as I said, is 9 hours and 18 minutes. So I cannot look at that. I will show you a slow down version. Actually, sorry, a short version. This is where you see the anomaly. Right. So we are here. It starts at the original time is like 56 minutes, 46 seconds out of 9 hours, 18 minutes, 18 seconds, as I said before. What you will see is first normal speed, And then I will slow it down 100 times in order to just see the frame in which you see the cat. Because what happens is that the cat basically jumps on the sofa, then the image freezes for 6 minutes, and there I will speed up a little bit, not to stay 6 minutes just to watch a frozen image. And then the cat seems to move at light speed. So you have to look somewhere here in the middle of the living room to see
Okay.
something happening once the cat gets frozen. Okay, now it would be 6 minutes, but I sped it up a little bit. And now here you can see that I'm speeding it up. And now look here. You saw the cat? For a fraction of a second, the cat was appearing in the middle of the room and then disappeared. And then reappears, you know, on the bottom of the screen. And now I just stop it.
Yeah. He comes back, it looks like, and he gets back in the
No,
same.
no, no, it doesn't come back. What I did is I first played normal time, and then
Yeah.
I played
Okay. Okay.
100 times faster.
All right.
Yeah, so in my opinion, this is not a glitch. I've never seen any glitch like that. Of course, freezing of videos is something normal, but to see this accelerating and seeing this cat just there for a fraction of a second and then disappearing, I mean, I've never seen anything like that. And this happened after this crazy experience that I had after this meditation where we made contact with these beings.
I also noticed, Dr. Lani, that when the cat walked across to the camera area, it was, you can just see his back, but he seemed like he turned his head towards the camera or the computer, and he was looking at it.
It's possible. A little bit, he did like that. It's
Yeah,
true.
as he was walking out from right to left.
You want me to play it a second time so people can maybe.
Yeah, right.
So just focus always in the middle of the room. And I haven't checked the rest of the video, the original 9-hour one. There are maybe other anomalies, but
He
it's
acts like,
hard.
yeah, he acts like he's looking at something.
Yeah, I don't know. So here in the middle of the room, it's coming. Yeah, here we go. And then now it comes back from the bottom right, and then slow down 100 times. And there is a single frame in which is that you see the cat. For the rest, there is no cat.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, in a normal slowing down, you would see the cat in different positions, but here you just see it in one frame.
It looks like he disappeared twice, when he jumped down and then when he walked out the door. See him looking at the camera, or you're
True, true. It disappeared before and it disappeared after having appeared in the middle.
that is strange.
Yeah, so yeah, one possibility is that, you know, in quantum physics, the experiment depends on the observer, as for instance the double slit experiment proved. So what could be is that you know, the laptop plays the observer. The laptop only works in linear time. It just shows what he can see. But the cat probably was in some sort of anomaly or caused some sort of anomaly. And there is also a shot in which you actually, if you stop the image at a certain moment in the original video, you actually see the silhouette of the cat in the middle.
Yeah, right.
But it's transparent, so it's like you see the, you know, the pattern on my floor through the body of the cat.
Right.
This could be explained with some image glitch or whatever, but in the context of the whole video, maybe it's really something, you know. I don't have a definitive answer, but it's pretty weird experiment. But then I didn't stop at this point. So what I did is I basically got the message that I could somehow manipulate time, even myself, and reproduce some of these phenomena. So what I started doing was some sort of experiments, meditation experiments, in which the intention was actually to trigger some anomaly in my videos. So I was meditating and recording my meditation every single time. And out of maybe 15, 20 attempts, at least in 5 cases, I managed to have some strange effect. So I will show you something. So I was guided basically to make a visualization while meditating. So to visualize basically a sort of spinning Merkaba inside my heart, inside a sphere and inside a cube. And basically, I was keeping this visualization for almost the whole duration of the meditation. I was feeling a lot of energies. And I will show you, let's see, this video. There is one which is at normal speed and one which is at slow down speed. I don't know this one. Let me see. Maybe this one. Okay, so this one is slow down. And then I will show you the
I was just like, okay.
So what happened here, sorry, I actually did a Reiki session with Sarah, remote. And in the meantime, I was like also in some state, you know. And then at the end of the meditation, I look at the video and the video was frozen. And I'm discussing with Sarah about this strange anomaly, you know.
Well,
and
also, I noticed a difference in your face. Your face looks more rounded here than it does normally. You know, typically.
Oh, maybe I had some heel. I mean, I was a bit fatter. You know.
Okay. Yeah, it looks.
I lost a bit of kilos.
By the energy, maybe. Well,
So
I don't know.
because now it's working nicely, but it was like no stop.
Yeah.
So here I'm slowing down 10 times. Just to show you what happened.
Anyway, I think probably they were working on our bodies again, no? Right? Oh, now it's back.
Then I will show you the original video. I mean, it's just a snapshot from a 1 hour or something video, which is, I think, this one. So here you will see more or less the same as for the cat. It freezes and then it goes super fast.
I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I wonder if it was kicked off by the energy, maybe. Well,
I don't know.
because now it's working nicely, but it was like no stop.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway, I think.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, you went right
went
back into. Yeah, you actually
You
went
went-
into a different position with your body and everything too.
Yeah, but then if you really look at each individual frame, as I did here, it just takes a little bit to load.
Yeah, that
sorry.
one looks like you're partially invisible.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. So
Yeah. Oh,
you-
the bottom left.
No, wait a second. He didn't. Something happened. Doesn't want to show it. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. Okay. So what you can see is basically that I progressively separate into two, and you see that one is transparent originally, another one is not transparent, and then I get to this in the bottom left, which is two versions of me transparent, each of them. And honestly, I mean, in a video recorder, you should never see something like that. I mean, of course, if you edit the video after, you can do this kind of stuff. You do overlay,
Right.
you do transparency, but when recording, you should be always fully materialized in each position in which you move. So what I think I caught on tape here, and I caught it many times, I have at least 5 different videos of 5 different days. It's a sort of bilocation. So I'm coexisting at the same time in 2 different positions and not fully materialized. How do you explain that from a physical point of view?
Now,
There is
how did you feel, Dr. Lani, where you were two of you there? Were you in a deep trance?
No, I mean, during the session, I was feeling energies, that's it. But I had set the intention to somehow generate some sort of quantum effect or time bending effect. So what I want to tell you is, this is the theory that many, let's say, also in the esoteric, but also in the scientific world. So basically, our energy is distributed everywhere, and but for some reason, let's say, we perceive ourselves only in a certain position at a certain time, but it is possible that in the quantum world, it is possible that part of you is somewhere, part of you is somewhere else. And this can be in time, in space. And yeah, so in this case, at the same time, two partial versions of me in two different positions.
Kind of like what they talk about, parallel universes.
Yeah, even though, yeah, this probably is still in this universe, but who knows?
Right.
I mean, so it's nice to catch these anomalies and do it repeatedly. Like I did it many times.
What did your scientific friends say about that cat and the other video of yourself? Did they have any explanation, or?
They were puzzled. Of course, some say that it could be a glitch, but then when you tell me that, then you have to show me a similar glitch. Otherwise, if it's the only one, well, maybe you could go also, I mean, you could seek also a better explanation or something that is even more exciting.
Yeah, we always ask ourselves, especially like minds like yours, yours is a scientific mind, mine is a journalistic mind, and I always wait for the other shoe to drop to figure out the facts. And like you're probably going over this and trying to think, okay, what could it be? Could it be a glitch, or is this real?
Absolutely.
I know that's how you think. You're scientific. Yeah.
And sorry, I actually forgot. I want to share you to show another thing, which is also connected to the same experiment.
Okay.
But the effect this time was a bit different. So I will show you a conversation on WhatsApp. What happened is that I was chatting with a friend, and then I decided to start my meditation. In that case, it was just 8 minutes. Sorry, do you see? Just move this around. Okay. So it was just 8-minute meditation in which I was doing the same visualization of this spinning structure inside my heart chakra. And the idea was to bend time. And what happened is, if you look at the conversation, so during the meditation, this friend that didn't know that I was meditating sent me a message. And if you go and check on her phone and my phone, the time corresponding to this message, there is a mismatch of 4 minutes. She was, I think she was in Florida, and I was in Brussels, so there is 6 hours of difference. But apart from this, if you look at the minutes, they should be the same, right?
Right.
But even in the, so here you see a bunch of messages. So this is her phone, and this is a screenshot of my phone. Okay, so the first message was already shifted actually by 1 minute. In her case, it was 3:56. The first one is 3:56, and mine is 22:56. That's okay.
We're running out of time. Yeah, we're running out of time, Dr. Lani. We're gonna have to start closing up. Yeah, but I see that. Yeah, the time.
Yeah, so basically here you have a message that you send at 4:23, but it should have been at 23:23, but it's at 23:27. So there is a 4 minutes, and this is the only message that she sent during my meditation.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So, yeah, we're gonna have to close the show up, and I know we can keep going on and on with you. We're gonna have you on again, I guess, in a couple of weeks or so. But this is the Dave Emmons Show. Dr. Lani was talking to. He's from Brussels, and he's a scientist, and he's had this. We've been talking about the meditation, the quantum things, and the quantum cat, we can call it. And I guess you want to mention your link real quick, Dr. Lani.
Yes, sure. My YouTube is Stargate to Heaven, and if you want to contact me via email, it's stargate2heavens with the s at gmail.com, and the 2 is with number 2.
Okay, I will put that back in correctly this time. Okay. All righty.
Thank
Thank you, everybody, and have a good night. And Dr. Lani, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you and good night. Thanks.